Hi, my name is Chris Erskine. Welcome to my speech. I'd like to introduce you to my audience. Start off. Andrew, then there's Zach, and Ellen. To begin. Basketball. It's a sport that many people love to play as well as watch. Even though there's a lot of different associations of basketball, there's none bigger or better than the NBA. Some sources for my speech are from history.com, insidehoops.com, and NBA.com. Three topics of my speech are the origins of the NBA NBA conference breakdown, and then some programs that the NBA does to help out its community. It all starts with a man named James Naismith, who is a PE coach for the YMCA in the late 1800s, who was given the task of creating a sport that kids could play inside during the winter when it's too cold to play outside. So he developed basketball with 2 peach baskets that didn't have any holes on the bottom, so each time you scored, you had to get the ball out, and it was a really rough contraption of what we have today. Before there was the NBA, there were 2 rival leagues of their own that have been around for a couple of years before they incorporated, and that was the Basketball Association of America and the National Basketball League. And both leagues were all right, but none of them thrived as much as the NBA does today. And after a few years, they decided that they would come together and put both sets of teams together to create the National Basketball Association in 1949 with 17 franchise teams. Although the NBA was created in 1949, a lot of the rules that they had then are not the same today, and there's been many changes, and one of those changes was the implementation of conferences. For the first 20 years of the NBA, there were no conferences. They just had 2 divisions that they played in, one higher and one lower. But in 1970, they created the Eastern and Western conferences, which divided the NBA into 2 separate divisions who would then play each other in the end to get a champion. The Eastern Conference has 15 teams, and it's mainly in the northeastern region of the United States. That's where a large group of them are from. And a couple front runners that may be known to a lot of people who don't really know much about basketball are the Boston Celtics, and some major players from them were Larry Bird, people like that, and then the Chicago Bulls, who Michael Jordan played for a long time. He's referred to as the greatest player in basketball. The Western Conference, on the other hand, takes up a lot more area as far as the United States goes, but a lot of the teams are more spread out, from Texas all the way to California and places like that. A lot of the big name teams from the Western Conference are the Los Angeles Lakers, as well as the San Antonio Spurs, and the Golden State Warriors, who won the last championship last year during the summer. Even though the basketball is very entertaining, it's also a good outlet for the NBA to reach out to the community and help them out in different ways. NBA Cares, this is their logo. And that's a program that the NBA has that has different mini programs that reaches out to its community in different ways: health, fitness, disabilities, working with orphan children and things like that. And a big one is Hoops for Troops. And what they do is they put on games for troops. Sometimes they'll visit their military bases. And sometimes at halftime of their games, they will honor these people and announce them and give them the credit that they deserve. And I think that's really cool of them to do. And that's one of my favorite of NBA Cares. I hope this speech has been able to give you a little bit better representation of what it does and how it was created. And I really appreciate y'all for listening to my speech. So to conclude, I'd like to just say that the NBA has been around for about 66 years and it's divided into Eastern and Western conferences for the past 45 years or so. The Eastern Conference has won 21 championships, I believe, and the Western Conference is ahead by 3 with 24, so that's something to think about. NBA Cares is an outreach program that the NBA has that just honors troops and is just really good. And I appreciate y'all for listening to my speech, and thank y'all very much.